Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your girl Lockness Monet, and I am coming to you today to talk about my nursing journey so far. So I know the last time I made a video about that, it was like the first quarter of nursing school. I was just like freaking out. I don't know what to expect, but that's to be expected, right? So I just completed my third quarter out of 7, so I have 4 more quarters to go. If it's the Lord's willing, I will be graduating this time next December. So I'm really excited. I'm really happy. But I just wanted to touch really quick on some of the classes that I've taken this quarter. One in particular, Med Surg. This was my first Med Surg quarter. And I have to say that this was by far the hardest quarter that I have had to take so far. I don't know if it was because of the courses that we've had, that we were all in together, like them intertwining. So like, for instance, we had Med Surg 1. We had, I call it community health or public health, but it's called caring for diverse populations and, you know, culture, something like that. And then we also had nursing research. So those 3 courses together, like, they were killer. They were hard because you had all these papers to write, all these presentations to give, in addition to going to clinicals sometimes 2-3 times a week for 10 hours shift. So it was a very interesting quarter, a very difficult quarter. However, I am still here. So real quick on Med Surg. I want you to go into Med Surg with an open mind. I want you to know that it is going to be hard. However, there are many nurses before us who have completed it and have passed, and so can you and I. At our school, we utilize ATI, and so we were given this book here. It is called the RN Adult Medical Surgical Nursing Edition 10. It's like a little breakdown reference book. It has all of the chapters in the book in here, but they're just like some of the main points. Y'all, this book saved my life. I promise you, if I didn't have this book and only had the textbook only, it just would have been horrible. So I utilize this book. Like, it just breaks everything down. It gives you questions, like your NCLEX questions in the end of the chapters, which I think are awesome as well. I mean, just here's what it looks like on the inside. So, I mean, just a lot of key point stuff. It's just great. Like, it just helped me to learn a lot of the material rather than me just reading the book. And another thing I wanted to say for Med Surg, if you don't know, ask your professor, because that's what they're there for. I had to learn that. Like, I'd be like, I don't really ask this question, and now I'm just like, oh, excuse me, I need to ask a question, because that's how you're going to retain the information. And I'm a auditory learner, so sometimes I would even get permission from the instructors. Hey, may I tape you? Because if I'm in the car and if I'm just driving, umpteen amount of minutes, I could just boom play that lecture over and over and over again. That helps me learn. That helps me retain. So I'm an auditory learner. So whatever technique works best for you, that's the one thing you want to do first. Find out what works best for you. If note cards work best, utilize them. If recording your lectures, or just finding YouTube, like, that's another thing I did. I found a lot of YouTube videos that I would listen to over and over and over again. And I'm going to drop those pages down below. The first one was Professor Fink. He is awesome. And the second one was a registered or Sarah, registered nurse RN. She has a great page that helped me out a lot. In addition to some other pages that I've used. Just like I said, you're going to do a lot of reading, and I recommend that you do it before your lecture. So say if y'all are going over cardiovascular, you know the chapters already, you have the syllabus, and just try to read as much as you can, ask as many questions as you can, and just utilize all your resources. YouTube videos. Like I said, if you just find some recording the lectures, whatever it is, or writing the index cards, whatever it is that works for you, please utilize it. Even if y'all get this book or whatever, whatever y'all use, if they give y'all like extra resource books to study from, please use them because they are going to be your best friend. I literally have like no time this quarter to do much of anything, and I do work PRN, but just trying to do anything because some days or some weeks we had clinicals twice a week. One week out of this 11-week quarter, I had it 3 times a week. So I had my first Med Surg rotation, a 10-hour. Then the next day I had a 10-hour, I think it was 10 or 8-hour hospice and home health clinical. And then that following that Friday, we had another round of Med Surg. But I can tell you that my clinical experience has been great so far. I have had the most amazing clinical instructors. They're very informative. And I haven't had, to just be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Because sometimes they'll step back and they just, observe me. And I'm just like, you're not going to come? And they're just like, I'm here, but you have to learn how to do it. And I think that's like the best part because that's how I learn. Like I do learn from, them telling me, hey, you do this step 1, step 2, step 3. But if I go in and I'm looking at analyzing my patient, and observing them, looking at what I need to do, then I do it. So a lot of the things we did this quarter, we were actually on the Med Surg floor, and there were a couple of days we were in the ER. I loved it. I love the ER. I do. It was amazing. We put in Foley caps. We did IVs, of course. I mean, wound. We did wound dressings. What else we did? We did ostomy bags. Oh my gosh, it was just hung IVs, priming the lines. We issued medications, both IV, by mouth, IM injections. We did, actually got to be with the nurse as she was giving a blood transfusion. I've done a bladder scan. We've done a lot. So we obtain a lot of skills. I think that's like the best part is just getting in there and getting hands on and learning it. So that was pretty much the gist of my Med Surg clinical. But if y'all have any other questions about Med Surg, the course, y'all let me know. I will be more than happy to try to address them to the best of my ability. But if y'all have any questions in general, I know if you're just coming into trying to get into your nursing program, and if you have questions about the TEAS, I do have a TEAS video that you can go watch. A little card should be popping up now about that, and just let me know if y'all have any questions about anything you want to know about my nursing experience so far. The classes I've taken so far, if I can remember them all, include fundamentals. I've taken intro to nursing. I've taken Med Surg, of course, nursing research, community and public health nursing. And I forget the very, very first courses, but they're like the basic courses, you know, your vital signs, etc. If I had any questions about any of that stuff, how I felt putting in my first IV, which I got, first try. But, you know, whatever you have questions with, just let me know. And I will try my best to answer them. Oh, I forgot to mention the particular systems we went over for this first Med Surg. It was the heart, so cardiovascular. We also know the respiratory and endocrine. And like I said, it's not easy. The heart in itself took up 2 exams. And that's not even the complete, you know, shindig about the heart. The heart is very interesting. And in our first Med Surg tests, or both of them, they included dysrhythmias, the different types of heart failure, left side and right side, your peripheral vascular diseases, your coronary artery diseases. It was just a lot of different things that you learn about the heart and all these different tests, all the different medications. So don't think that just because you don't, I don't know about y'all, but we had Form 1 and Form 2 in our first and second quarter, so we didn't have Form this quarter. However, Form is not going anywhere, okay? You still need to know your medications. Just don't just brain dump that information because you don't have Form anymore, because you need to know those medications are going to be on your Med Surg exam. So like, what are one of the medications you would give to a patient with a heart failure or hypertension? Number 1 would be a diuretic, or you would just alter their health, like their weights, their eating habits, just altering things like that, their exercise. Anyways, I got off track, but yeah, Form isn't going anywhere, so you can always just don't brain dump your drug information. In respiratory, I like respiratory. I did pretty good. Well, I think was good on my test. However, going into endocrine, oh my gosh, there's so many things to know about the endocrine system. I mean, all the different hormones and how they affect these different organs in your body, and all these different diseases that occur if they go wrong. So you have, from your thyroid to, diabetes mellitus, diabetes insipidus. They are different, by the way. SIADH, what we do, Cushing's, we did Addison's, what else was on there? Graves' disease. After, you're gonna do a lot of reading. So I read, and sometimes over and over and over again, listening to my lectures over and over and over again, looking at YouTube videos over and over and over again, just so that I can comprehend and know what's going on. Because here's the thing, if you know what's going on or what's not supposed to be going on in the body for whatever disease you're talking about, it's going to help you understand the material more. Like, I had to really be like, oh my gosh, is it true? Because if you know the routes through the heart, how the blood flows through the heart, if something was wrong, you can go boom, that's where it's going to be affected at, boom, that's where that's happening at. So it's a lot of different things, but the systems we went over for this quarter in Med Surg were cardiovascular, endocrine, and respiratory. And like I said, the heart itself is just ridiculously big, and that's not even all of it. Like I said, we hit on the main points. So your dysrhythmias, your heart attacks, your strokes, what medicines to give, what you would do as a nurse, your assessment, you know, their goals is just everything. But I've enjoyed my experience so far with my nursing. I anticipate this upcoming Med Surg. For clinicals, I think we're going to be going into OB/GYN, so that's going to be interesting. I'll let y'all know how that goes too. But like I said, if y'all have any questions about anything, if I can answer it, I'll be more than happy to assist you and direct you in the path that you need to get the answer, or if I can answer it, I'll answer it. But until next time, guys, we will chit chat later.